No matter what level of education you're currently pursuing, finding the motivation to attend class and study and complete assignments can be exhausting. Deadlines and grades can weigh you down to a point where getting back up and moving forward feels impossible. In order to keep your grades up and prevent repeating a course, you need to find a way to overcome stress and the pressure of completing a class. But how? Whether you're about to start studying for finals or you have your first class next week, use these tips to keep yourself motivated to go to and do well in school. Oh, and I should note, this video is only applicable to you if you actually want to learn about the topic that you're studying, and you're not just going to college to get a job or for your parents' approval or because it's safer. So, tip number 1, physically write down what motivates you. When studying feels useless and going to class seems like a waste of time, remind yourself of why you're attending school in the first place. Think further than your degree, too. What does a degree mean for your employment opportunities? When you apply for jobs, what skills are you learning right now that will come up in the interviews? And if you were to quit school, at what point in your journey would you have to turn around and come back to school? For me personally, I read a lot of books, and I consider that my school. And I've trained myself to believe that for each book I read, it helps me earn more money, which is actually provable. I've read a book before and literally earned an extra $500 from implementing what it taught me. Reading a book also helps me with my social skills by giving me more stuff to talk about and relate to, which is also provable, because I've had conversations with people who also love reading books. One of them was on an airplane, and the guy sat right next to me. He was actually a manager at a major telecommunications company, and we both learned some secrets that day. And also, reading books makes my life easier, which is also provable because I've read books and I've doubled my productivity, or I got rid of unnecessary things to make my life better. So these 3 things, making more money, meeting new people, and making life easier, are a good reason to read a book, and these motivate me. For you, if you're in school, it might be different, but the same principle applies. If you're stuck, think about where you want to see yourself in 5 or 10 years. Even if you just want to see yourself living comfortably in a decent job, the steps to that dream probably involve a degree or the skills that you're learning right now in school. So try to make the connections between what you're doing in class or what you're working for and where you want to be in your life. Once you have made this connection and refreshed your motivation, write your reflections down. Write a phrase or draw a picture that will help you remind you of the path that you need between your education and your dreams. Keep this memento near your laptop or your desk so that you can remind yourself of this motivation when you start feeling stressed. I've actually got my YouTube play buttons at my workplace. I've also printed out some meaningful comments that others have left on the YouTube channel, and even some testimonials from some of my courses. It really helps me anyways, so you might try it. Tip number 2 is to create a routine, and a routine that includes downtime. So before you start next week, or even the next day, create a schedule for yourself that gives you a balance between studying and relaxing. This will give you reassurance while you are working that each of your assignments and tasks will be completed on time and have the best chance at receiving high grades. Now, it doesn't have to be complicated. Try one thing for a week, then try something else for the next week, and keep testing until you figure out how your brain learns and you can study best. Even if you allow yourself to have downtime for 15 minutes every 2 hours, you can recharge throughout the day and prevent yourself from losing too much steam. Also, don't feel guilty or upset for giving yourself a short time to unwind and prepare for the next assignment. Some nights, I just watch Netflix series and know that I can crush it tomorrow. Balancing work and downtime will ensure that you're producing higher quality work that isn't impacted by stress. Now, tip number 3 is to pick up a hobby that motivates you to learn. Routines and assignments don't always seem like a beneficial steps to get you to your goal, so you probably need to take a step back and remind yourself why you want to learn something new. Take some time out of your week and dabble in a new hobby or a passion that interests you. This hobby can relieve stress, and it can remind you that improving yourself and building on your skill set is a positive experience. Before you know it, you'll generate some excitement for learning something new, and that fuel that you generate from your hobbies can be translated over into your schoolwork. Whenever you find yourself losing steam, go back to your passions and remember why you're trying to better yourself in the first place. So here, as a personal example, here's an idea I've had. Recently, I really want to travel, and also my current tax bracket is around 43%. It's 15.3% for the self-employment tax, it's 6% for the Missouri income tax where I live, and it's 22% for my federal tax bracket. This means that I pay the government $43 for every $100 that I earn profit through my business, which means I only get to spend $57 of that on what I want. However, I really want to travel, so I've been working up a podcasting idea where each podcast is set in a different location in the United States, which means I'll have to travel to different towns and cities in order to record each episode of the podcast. This means that I'll get to spend my $100 that I earned on what I want to, being able to travel and starting a new business. But I also won't have to pay taxes on it because the hotel and the travel fees will be deductible since they're part of the business. You can sign up to my top 10 book list in the description below if you want to be notified if I ever post the video and the podcast on YouTube. They will not be posted to this Practical Psychology YouTube channel. It'll be a different channel. The podcast will be about books and knowledge, which means I'll have the motivation to learn, and in order to travel, I have to read the books and create the podcast for it to be tax deductible. So I'm creating my own motivation. I can either spend $57 traveling, or I can spend $100 traveling if I create a podcast about it, and that's a hobby that motivates me to learn. Tip number 4 is to meet your teachers for coffee. If you're just showing up to class, taking notes, and leaving, you may not get the best understanding of the intentions behind each lesson or the assignment. So try to dig deeper into what your classes can teach you by reaching out to your professors or teachers for coffee or lunch, or just meeting them during their meeting hours. And remember, mentors can be anyone, including your college teachers and professors. A lunch meeting can take the pressure off of your performance and turn the focus to the content of the course. Talk to your professors and tell them about why you took the course and what you're hoping to learn and hoping to do after you graduate. Professors and teachers have more experience in the areas that you're studying, and they can provide resources that tap into your specific interests. If you can combine your interests with the course material, you'll be able to enhance your educational experience and find the motivation to study the course material. Tip number 5 I have for you is to reach out to your advisors. If you're hitting a roadblock in motivation, you might just be taking on too much. Sometimes college can offer a lot. Between jobs, course schedules, and other obligations, these things can wear you down. If you're putting too much on your plate, talk to your advisors about setting up maybe a more manageable schedule. The pressure to complete your courses in a certain amount of time or earn money while you're at school should not come before the quality of your work or what you learn and gain from the course. I actually had to do this my first semester at university. If you want additional support, you can reach out to your counselors at your school to help with stress management and a different perspective on how you're handling your studies. For example, at the university I went to, they actually had stress dogs available all week, so you could just walk into a specific building and pet the dogs and have fun. Remember, a lack of motivation doesn't always come from just laziness. Stress and mental health issues can take away your motivation even if you're fully capable of receiving good grades. And the 6th tip I have for you is to just reward yourself. Good grades are a reward, but they may not be attainable in a time frame that continues to motivate you throughout your semester. Train your brain to want to study with tangible rewards. That is, a reward that you can touch or feel. Set up a system where you can start to give yourself a treat for an hour of studying, or maybe a completed assignment. The treat could be a chocolate bar, it could be a walk around the neighborhood, maybe $1 towards a nice meal at the end of the week. The more you reward yourself, the more consistent your study schedule will be in order to get more rewards. Looking towards your goals and rewarding yourself fuels your educational journey with positive rather than negative motivation. Set yourself up to feel good about studying and learning in order to want to be in that space much more often. Before you know it, the semester will be over and you'll have that much needed break. For me, I actually dropped out of university and went to a community college, and then after a couple semesters I dropped out of the community college because I saw that my learning potential was going down. I wasn't enjoying it as much. I enjoyed reading books and watching YouTube videos and taking courses much more than actually going to class, so that's what I did. Also, before I end this video, I want to let you know that it's sponsored by my own mastermind, Practical Growth Academy. And if you're interested, I create weekly animated book summaries, actionable worksheets to go along with the summaries, and also a monthly mini course on a topic that I think you'll find helpful. So far, there's over 25 book summaries in there and 7 full mini courses on stuff like productivity, money management, social skills, and just other stuff that's really important in self-improvement. To get immediate access to all of this, plus a link to a private Discord server where all the members share stories, they share ideas, and they help each other grow, check out the link in the description. If you sign up today, I'll personally send you a $20 Amazon gift card, and you should know that the mastermind is only $17 a month if you use the discount below, and that you can cancel anytime, including the first month if you want, which means you profit $3, right? So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope this helps you find the motivation to continue with your learning.